Hello, 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 and welcome to Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between. I'm your host, James J., and returning from his holiday excursion, Coleco Yachts.
Merry New Year to everybody. What's going on, James?
Yeah, me and Scooter was saying you don't have your priorities straight. We were While you were spending your time with your family, we were doing the show. We were walking.
I know, man. Hey, my mom was too busy putting the Jesus on me to get to the wrestling. So when mommy's there, you're kind of like, you and no matter how many times you say it's your house, they'll still think it's their house. So 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 there's that part. There's that part.
Well, I'm surprised that you haven't got your mom into the wrestling by now.
Oh no, 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 no. She kind of used to watch it, but then when I was watching it like heavy as a kid, she always goes, "Well, they act like I didn't exist when wrestling was on." I was like, "Yeah, because we used it as an escape plot. It was escape therapy. That was the whole point."
So you're saying that Ric Flair and the maid was your mother and father growing up.
Pretty much. I mean, Sensational Sherry was the mean aunt. Ted DiBiase was the rich uncle. So I mean, we could go on and on.
We're building a very unique family here, aren't we?
I mean, everybody's family unique. Mine just happened to have a billionaire who was stuffing dollar bills in someone's throat as a kid.
Wasn't one of them RVD?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Funny how that works.
that's so cool uh in my mind. Like he was kissing that his career started before it even kind of started.
That's what I say.
And as uh and Scooter Dust will be joining us a little later on. He's late to the party as per usual, but that don't matter because it's a great day for wrestling.
Yep. And this party is moving into 2020. The expansion of wrath, as I like to say, the expansion of the wrestling is back in 2020.
I mean, it was a big year for pro wrestling 2019. We got AEW and NWA. Impact Wrestling came on Access Channel. So just a lot of new formats to watch, the new alternatives to WWE.
True. I would say as far as viewing content and the cord cutting um phenomenon, WWE funny is funny because everybody shits on WWE, but WWE was on the forefront of this cord cutting technology, and now everyone's following suit and joining these cord cutting type of situations other than AEW because of course they got TNT, but TNT you can still kind of watch it wirelessly. So it's been one of the biggest booms as far as being able to watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. And for wrestling since God knows, I don't know when, like it's been at least 20, 30 years since you had this much wrestling at your fingertips.
Right. And it's a great day for New Japan as yesterday was the first day of Wrestle Kingdom. You and me have not seen the show yet because we are not vampires watching a show at 3 in the morning.
Nah, I can't do it. I tried it one time with Kenny versus. I tried it one time when it was Kenny versus Okada, and I just could not do it, bro. Like, so ever since then, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna wake up and watch it whenever I feel
Yeah,
like, like it
Scooter
ain't worth it. It's
Scooter
not worth
might be
it."
a vampire, but he doesn't have New Japan World, so he cannot tell us, unfortunately.
I mean, I got New Japan World. It just wasn't worth being up at 3 in the morning watching it. Especially, when you got a kid and that motherfucker works up at 3 hours and you staying up all night just to watch him rap. Like, nah, nah. I'm better off just going to sleep, waking up, and watching it with them. Fuck it.
So, with that being said, we both did not watch the show, and by the time we tape this, it will be old news anyway. We're just going to go ahead and talk about night two. We are wrestling with Wrestle Kingdom night two in the Tokyo Dome. Um, and the first match out is, well, not the first match, the second match is another openweight six-man championship gauntlet match. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's gonna be interesting how they start with night two because, of course, night two got the finale. But I also felt like night one had a lot of the bang for the buck per se when it comes to the Osprey Takahashi match and all these other matches. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go with night two, whether they bore their fans out or whether their fans are going to be clamoring for more after night one, depending on how night one ended. Uh, Personally, the gauntlet match is just gonna is to me is a filler to get to the end. Um,
Still get everybody
Sorry.
on the show.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that this is that I guess it could get everybody paid on one night, so they had to stretch it to two nights to be like, hey, you get a payday, you get a payday, you all get paydays, so it's gonna be I don't know, it's just let's see, the never open weight. And as far as like whoever's gonna win it, if I could pick a winner, I would say Lij. Because and the reason I say that is Bullet Club. It's been fringy for them a little bit. I mean, they kind of starting to get back together, get the glue back together. But in my mind, I think with Lij getting Takahashi back, I think that kind of boosts them up even more because I can make the argument that Naito, yes, was is the biggest wrestler, but Takahashi was not that far behind.
Right.
So
He was
so
the
I
junior
think
division's Naito.
right. Yeah, and especially with that, he had the gimmick with Daryl, and man, it was just over like Rover. So to me, I think it's gonna be a continuation of it being Lij's night.
Speaking of Daryl, I got the red one on Christmas.
Oh, must be not. See, now I gotta find it. Now you got to give me your sources. Now I'm gonna need some sources.
Uh,
I need. I
my
need
my
sources.
source was going to the Chara Expo and my family getting into the merch line before I did.
Ah, see,
That's my source.
lucky, lucky bastard.
Yeah, good times. Um, I agree with you. Um, you know, Hiromu Takahashi has a big match. Naito has a couple big matches. Even uh Sonata has a singles match against Zack Sabre Jr. for the
British heavyweight champion on this night. Yeah, so
exactly, and that kind of leaves Evil behind, who is maybe the biggest of the Lij guys that doesn't have a major match. So you have Shingo, who has been running roughshod this whole damn year. Uh,
yeah.
52 victories in the whole year of pinfalls.
Oh yeah, he's been that dude, rookie of the year, hands
Right.
down.
And Bushi, who was the jobber of the group, let's just face it. So I think, yeah, it makes sense to give them that championships. I mean, Makabe, Taguchi, and Yano haven't done anything with those belts.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like they won it for shock value's sake anyway.
Right. Uh,
So I mean, it's pretty much set for them to lose. Um, Chaos to me, they kind of get bland sometimes because everybody's kind of doing their own thing that they're really not a group. You know what I mean?
right.
And that's where it kind of kills it for me with Chaos. Because even with Bullet Club, they have like riff, but it's like a pack. It's like a honor of thieves together with
It's a
them.
wolf pack.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's literally a wolf pack. Vice, and Lij, of course, they're hella cohesive. But then again, it also helps that there's only like 5-6 people, so their bonds are tighter.
I mean, even Suzuki
Chaos.
Gun, they know who's the boss.
Oh yeah, Suzuki Gun. They know Suzuki. It's like this. Chaos runs a democracy faction. Suzuki Gun runs a dictatorship faction.
Yeah, that's
L-
pretty
L-
accurate.
Lij and Bullet Club are like honor amongst thieves. That's basically how I would put it, if I had to put it that way.
The first match on the actual card, that the gauntlet match being a pre-show match, is Gibson Thunder Liger's last match ever. He teams with Nakoi Sano to take on Dragon Lee and Hiromu Takahashi.
Right, and this is like it could be a big night for Takahashi because think about it. Night one, he's going against Osprey.
Not to
So
mention he's teaming with the guy that broke his neck.
pretty much. But I mean, if anything, you're thinking Liger's going out on his back. So that's how I would see it. But eh, you know,
I mean,
maybe they do something different.
he's been going on his back this whole last year. It was kind of like job Lager out year. But
Jushin Jobber Liger.
exactly.
Oh
The other thing I
no.
want to say about the match is Thunder Lager in a tag team match as his last match ever really the best way to go out? I mean,
They blew that load when he had him go against fucking Minoru Suzuki.
right.
They had to build a feud in the summer, so that's where the load got blown. It would have been nice for that because either way, Suzuki. I think it would have been a bigger moment if Suzuki did that at Wrestle Kingdom than if he did it when he did it in the summer.
Right. And yeah, and considering Suzuki really doesn't have a match on the card, it's a little disappointing. Uh,
Nah, he needs some time off. That motherfucker be light, kicking ass and taking names. As much as a beating he be putting on people, he need nah. We want people to actually perform on these nights. We don't want no broke bones.
so you're okay with it being a tag match and not a singles last match?
I mean, personally, no. I would have thought that the Liger Suzuki would have been built up to this, but
What about Liger just versus Takahashi or Dragon Lee?
that wouldn't be bad. I'd take it. I would take it.
Kind of passing of the torch, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it would be cool, like an old guard, new guard thing.
Right. Next match on the card, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, and Taijiri Ishimori versus Show and Yo Roppongi 3K.
Let's see. I would think Roppongi 3K. They went through a lot investing in these guys, you know. So I would think that they would pay them back by giving them the title run.
I'm going the other way and saying that Bullet Club wins and Roppongi 3K breaks up.
Oh, well, that could be a possibility. Because they have been beefing during the Super Juniors. So, yeah, that could work.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like it's ran its course now, and Show doesn't seem to be happy to be there anymore. So that kind of you want to do it on the biggest stage you can.
Oh, kind of like who's going to be the Marty Jannetty? Is that where that's where we're going with this?
I mean, I already kind of decided that Yo is going to be the Janetti.
Yo is going to be the Jannetty.
Oh yeah, Show is a talent.
All right. I will take your word for that, sir.
Third match, British Heavyweight Championship match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata. Going with Sonata, obviously.
You know who I'm. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know damn well who I'm rooting for. It is just. I mean, he's They did him dirty
I
in
knew
the
you were going to
fucking.
say that.
They did him dirty in the G1. They fucking screwed my man. But but they haven't been shy about. Only reason I would say he would win is because they haven't been shy about Sabre losing the title in Japan. So that's the only reason I give Sonata the edge.
I'm only going with Sonata because I hate Zack Sabre Jr., so that's a good enough reason for me.
Hey man, friend of an enemy of an enemy is my friend. There you go.
Yeah, I love me some Sonata. IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match. John Moxley will fight Lance Archer. Odds are Moxley's winning that match. He will be facing Juice Robinson on the second night.
This tells depends on what Juice does the first night because I got to watch to see what he did. If he won the first night, because the first night he was going against the God, which that's a tall fucking task. If they win, he loses. If he loses that match, which I think more likely they will, because God has been running over every fucking body, I think that Juice comes out on top.
I mean, God is like right below the Briscoes on brutality.
But they are above everybody on vulgarity.
Oh, no, yeah. Give my money. Shout out to Coleco's son. No, I see this as Juice Robinson, them doing what they were supposed to do at King of Pro Wrestling. Get the belt on Mox, have Juice beat him, give Juice that big victory that he was supposed to get.
And he'll be the American cowbell for New Japan.
Right.
Got it.
Next match, Never Openweight Championship match, Kenta versus Hiroki Goto. I think it's gotta be
Kenta.
Goto, right?
It's Kenta. It's Kenta. What does Goto gain?
He uh he restores the
Now,
honor of Shibata.
see, now that's where it throws me off. Because if it was Shibata, then it would be Shibata. But since it's Goto, hell no, Goto. Hell no, Goto.
I disagree. I think maybe Goto has what it takes to pull off that happy ending. I mean, he's beaten Minoru Suzuki at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, but that was because his record's been shitty as it is. This is a totally different thing, man. They brought Kenta in to be that asshole, and he's lived up to every billing. If I were them, I would pull it to where Shibata could be cleared, and then Shibata gets the payoff. Because I've never seen. Because here's what in this, I'm just gonna say this part. I've never seen no one get a payoff for another man about another man's business.
And the next match will be the two people that did not win the Intercontinental and IWGP Championships. We'll talk maybe a little bit about that a little bit later. The seventh match is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Chris Jericho, and if Tanahashi wins, he gets a shot at the AEW Championship.
I like the idea, but the fact that they have to go outside of AEW to get someone to get the title shot is a slap in the face to me of everybody at AEW. Because the whole point of all of this is like AEW is supposed to be wins and losses matter, right? And granted, yes, Jericho's doing the thing where he's taking advantage of everybody who who he knows he can beat. But they have not built a credible contender to even say that he has the right to fight for that title. And that to me is a drawback for them.
Interesting. Dude, obviously, if Tanahashi wins, there's obviously some type of working relationship between AEW and New Japan.
Kind of like a test in the waters, yeah.
I mean, the only reason I see New Japan wanting that relationship is to maybe get Kenny Omega back for a couple matches.
That, and keep in mind, they're not broadcasting any shows in America on TV this year.
Right.
So it could be a way to kind of work themselves into the TV exposure. And it's a channel, and they'll be working on a channel that Americans can get, which is TNT, not like access, because not everyone can get access.
Right.
So it's a win-win for the company, but to me, it's a loss for AEW's contenders per se.
And the last match is the IWGP Champion versus the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. This could be a number of people. We could have Okada versus Jay White, Okada versus Naito, Kota Ibushi versus Jay White, or Kota Ibushi versus Naito.
If Naito loses the first night, if he lost the first night, Okada wins. If Naito won the first night, I feel like Naito he's been denied. I'm not gonna say he's been denied, but I feel like he got to the point where he felt complacent and being where he was, and it showed when he fought in the main event for at Wrestle Kingdom that one year. And I felt like that was the time for him to be the guy or be the man at that point. And you could just feel like he was just happy being there. And I just feel like the hunger for him it is going to be strong for him to carry. Now, the problem with Naito is he can be a little lazy and too
Right.
complacent. So that's where it factors in. Jay White is another guy that it's not that he's not talented, it's that he could be out of everybody there, he's the weakest link. So I could see them pulling that weakest link type of card.
Somebody's leaving Wrestle Kingdom with 2 losses.
Somebody's gonna be two. Somebody's gonna be 1-1. 2 people are gonna be 1-1, and one's gonna be 0-2, and one's gonna be 2-0. Okada, to me, he's the best, one of the best, if not the best in the world. But his style, but he fights to the level of his opponents sometimes, and that could fuck him over. That usually fucks him over. Like him fighting to the level of his competition. And Ibushi, he's the new guy on the scene, so everything's bright-eyed to him.
Right. And I think, well, if I had to call it, I would say Kota Ibushi would actually beat Okada on the first night and win the IWGP, but then lose it, whether it be Jay White or Naito, which I think it would be Naito. But just from a story aspect, Okada versus Naito would make a little bit more sense. 2 years ago, he got there, he was denied. He's been struggling this whole time, and now he's back on the mountaintop.
And let's go back even further in history with the whole Okada, Naito, when they were the main event, then they got voted out of the main event.
Right.
So there's a lot of like layers underneath. So they could do that to prove, they can put on a show, they can like go, and it's Naito's turn. So it's one of those things. It's going to be an interesting second night, that's for sure.
That it will be. That will conclude our coverage of Wrestle Kingdom Night 5. And we are wrestling with Lena and Bobby Lashly's wedding. This has been getting a lot of buzz since it debuted last Monday, the last segment of the decade.
True. I mean, it's gotten a lot of buzz, good and bad. I think people are like, the wrestling fans are like, what the fuck? The casual fans are like, this is cool. And the numbers don't lie because, I mean, even Lana herself, when it was funny because how like YouTube, they do YouTube clips now. Right. And her segment was the most viewed segment on Monday Night Raw on YouTube. So because granted, Raw, I will say this, everyone keeps saying WWE is naive to the fact that because they run 3 hours and it's a full-time job. I can make the argument that they understand that. And it's funny because they always release YouTube clips as soon as the segment's done. Because they know that the YouTube clips are going to garner the attention to get the people to come watch the show. You see what I'm saying? Or it's just going to get for them to get eyeballs on what's going on. So to me, that to me is a little. That to me, that's they're ahead of the game on that part. As far as this wedding, man, I can see where some people's not. not everyone's cup of tea, but as far as like Jerry Springer ish, whatever, it did what it was supposed to do.
That being said, did you like the segment or did you hate it?
I'm indifferent. I have no cow in the race. I don't take wrestling as seriously as people do. I mean, I watch it and I enjoy it, but it's not the ending thing. So to me, I enjoyed it for what it was. A Jerry Springer S type shit that I knew what was going to happen.
I mean, once you saw that kick, you knew somebody was coming out of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think maybe something that gets a little overshadowed was that Liv Morgan made her debut and said that she was in a relationship with Lana. Lana gets around, doesn't she?
Yeah. Two people kind of were pissed off about that and voiced their displeasure.
That would be.
Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, because that's an angle that they've been trying to push forever. Because Sonya Deville is actually gay, so or actually a lesbian. So why would you do it with the people that are most comfortable pushing the role?
Well, I mean, would Liv Morgan do it if she wasn't comfortable doing it?
Oh no, not saying that they weren't uncomfortable, but I'm just saying as far as natural chemistry.
Okay.
Comfortable, not comfortable as in whether they're comfortable being gay or not. It's more comfortable as in natural chemistry for it to go the way it should go. But I mean, hey, people can say it's a lot of things. You can't say it was boring. That's for damn sure. That's what I always say. You can call it anything you want, but it was not boring. That shit was something.
I I might get heat for this. I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. It held my attention. It was off the wall ridiculous.
Yeah,
It reminded me of old time WWE, like when when the Snake came uh and Randy Savage's wedding, or when Kane destroyed Edge's wedding, or when Matt Hardy destroyed Kane's wedding, Billy and
yeah.
Chuck's wedding. Like those were all really memorable moments in WWE, and we haven't had one of them in like forever.
And that's the thing I don't get because people will be like, "Oh my God, they're too predictable," and then when they do something unpredictable, "Oh my God, why are you doing?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It can't be both ways. You know what I mean? It's either you're gonna let it play out, and let you guess what's gonna happen, or be happy or be not. You know, like people complain as like, bro, you got the remote. No one's making you watch it. You know what I mean?
right.
And that's the funny thing because people will sit there and tell you that was the dumbest shit ever, and then they'll see somebody like Orange Cassidy and think that is the greatest fucking thing on earth. I, I'm not indifferent to either one, but you can't sit there and complain about one and then say another is like the greatest thing ever.
Do you think it's the same people that saying Orange Cassidy raps that are saying that Lana and Rusev suck?
Oh yeah, they're throwing stones at a glass house because those are the same people who are probably like WWE, AEW purists or anything else. Where like it's like Joey Ryan sitting there saying that it sucks, bro. You got some nerve. Now, hello, pot to the kettle type situation here. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
so that's where I'm like. I'm not arguing to be argumentative, but I'm just saying, like, bruh, come on. Your gimmick is a dick. Literally, your dick.
Is that a Matt Riddle bro or just like come on bro?
uh, it's more like bruh. Like, bruh.
bruh.
Yeah, bruh. Like, not even bro, just bruh. Come on,
Bruh.
man. Come on. Come on, man. Like, I was born last night, but not. I was born tonight, but not last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That being said, we've closed out 2019, and here are some stats on 2019. Roman Reigns ends 2019 with only one title match, a DQ victory over Shinsuke Nakamura in October. This is the first year since 2014 Roman Reigns has not held any type of championship.
And yet, people are warming up to him. It's funny. Like, it's it just shows you that they were too quick in pulling that trigger, and if they had it, well, I wouldn't say they were too quick. They were a year too late responding because had Roman won the year Batista won, would have been a different story.
Right. It kind of seems it's always that way. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble now, whoever was the second place, that's the guy they wanted.
Oh yeah,
Uh, First ever champions this year. UK Tag Team Champions was Zach Gibson and James Drake. Women's Tag Team Champion, it's Bayley and Sasha Banks. And 24/7 Champion Titus O'Neil.
that's crazy. Like a lot of new titles, and it's funny. Remember when they said that 24/7 title was like shitty, and then it became like the biggest fucking thing thanks to R-Truth.
And now it's
It,
shitty
it
again.
literally it literally should be just called the R-Truth 24/7 711 something.
Right. I mean, they're at the point where they need to actually start doing matches for it, like sanctioned matches. I mean, they build it up as what it is and what it was, and now it's time for them to actually have matches that people could care about, in my opinion.
True, because that would be something where, and they've done it before, and they already explained the rules, which is like, yo, no one can interfere in the match when it's a sanctioned match. So
Right.
just go ahead and give it to them. So just go ahead and have more of those to highlight it. But I feel like it's more for R-Truth and his creativity than it is for anything else.
2019 marks the first year since 2001 that John Cena did not compete in a WWE pay-per-view.
Do you miss him?
Nope.
That's the question. Do people miss him? Because as much as like whether you liked him or hated him, it was, you know, he was a guy. He was a guy that moved the needle.
Drew McIntyre is the only superstar to compete on the first Raw of 2019 and the last Raw of 2019. Sasha Banks and Baron Corbin uh, both competed on the first Raw of the year and the last SmackDown of the year.
You wouldn't have thought about that about Sasha after WrestleMania 35. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio both completed the Grand Slam.
Mm. Congrats to Kofi and of course Mysterio. His was a long. I mean, I would say this: Kofi's Grand Slam was probably more memorable because the tension that WWE put upon itself with its racial tones of having African American champions. So I would say that's the more memorable one.
I mean, they kind of just stuck the United States Championship with Rey Mysterio.
I
Um,
mean, that was the easiest one to get.
True. Raw between the women's Raw SmackDown, tag team NXT UK, and 24/7. All those belts. There was a total of 21 women that reigned as champion in WWE.
Damn.
And Bayley was champion 3 different times in 2019, and Charlotte as well.
Damn. But Bailey is the only person who've won every active women's title in that bitch. With yeah, Bailey's the only one. Yeah, she's the only one.
R-Truth had the most title reigns of the year with 25.
Fucking nuts.
And to end this, the Big Show had not competed, did not compete at all in 2019. The last time he did not compete in a calendar year was 2007.
But you kind of knew he was on the way out, so you know.
True.
Nothing new. Nothing new.
Alright, and that concludes our coverage of the year in review. And now we are wrestling with the NXT Year of the End Awards. And obviously there was no really competitiveness between AEW and NXT. My thinking of it is, why not start out the new year with a new NXT?
Mainly because they did that. I mean, they could have did the in-year show on Christmas, but I think they just took advantage of the fact that they knew AEW wasn't going to put on a show. But even with that, they got 500,000 people to watch that shit. So think about that. Think about that. They may have lost, but they got 500,000 people who would rather watch that than AEW. Some loyal bastards they are.
And just that being said, the viewership for AEW with kind of sort of no with no competition was a 9.6. So that's a really good number. It tells you how many people are switching from WWE to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
To AEW, I mean. And
Oh,
speaking of which, AEW this week, what were your thoughts on that?
It was actually a good show. I mean, it was a good show. I will give them that. It was a really good show. It's kind of, they had no really competition as far as like the on wrestling part, so they went balls to the wall, and I think that was just to make up for not having a show, not having a show on Christmas. The stadium that they had it at, it seemed a lot smaller, but it was a lot more intimate. So that also helped.
That's the South Park Arena.
You say what?
The South Park Arena. Tony Khan
Mm-hmm.
saw that on South Park, the way that it was situated, and he said he wanted an arena that looked like that.
Well, you putting the money in, you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, I suppose. um, I think they're getting better. This was the first week that they had backstage segments in a lot of them. I just felt that Cody and Darby Allin, your first match, it was a big match. Okay, it could go a little long. the women's title match. Okay, it was a women's match. It was for the championship. It needs to go a little longer. Felt like they
Mm-hmm.
did Britt Baker wrong by giving her the L. Like
Oh yeah,
they're really fucking her over.
it's almost like she's getting punished for being married to Adam Cole. I swear to God, it's like she's being punished for being married to the most over guy right now in WWE. One of the most over guys in WWE.
But kind of everything after that seemed like it was way too long. I mean, John Moxley and Trent shouldn't have gone as long as it did. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara shouldn't have gone as long as it should. Uh, I will say it was entertaining to see the cue cards Sammy held up during the commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
So that and MJF probably the most over heel other than Jericho.
In AEW, yes. But the thing is, you don't want your heels to be over. You're supposed to boo the motherfucker, not. Oh God, I like how you talk shit about me. Like, no, that's not the way it works.
So, but it seems like he's getting a lot of heat when he's in the arena. It doesn't seem like
I
people
mean,
are genuinely cheering him.
yeah, true. He's a genuine talker. He can talk up the building. I'll give him that. He can definitely talk up the building. And this just tells me that all of this, he seems like the guy where he could talk it up, but you don't see him getting a lot of wins that way. Because you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And in wrestling, I guess that's a lost art because you're not really worried about whether he wins or loses. You're just more worried about him getting his ass beat. So I guess that's a good thing.
Oh, that being said, what was the best segment of this show?
MJF, like I mean, you could promo wise, he's the bee's knees. Like who they got some good people. There's only two people that I can say that deserves the talk. One is Jericho, the other one's MJF. Everybody else could need to take a promo class here and there.
Now, here is an interesting question.
No offense to them.
If if NXT was actually on, was there any segment you would say I could switch the channel. I don't need to see this.
Women's title match, hands down.
Oh, really?
And the reason saying is because I see what they're trying to do with Rio. They just really, I'll put it this way. Why would I watch Rio when I can watch uh, Ripley? And Ripley is hands down like the bigger charismatic women's wrestler. So, and I'm not, yeah, that would be the one. So let's say like if it Rio or Ripley, if it was Rio for Ripley, yeah, I would take Ripley in a heartbeat. I would shut it down for Ripley in a heartbeat.
And
Just because like they really haven't stacked their women's division. They just had their champ beat literally the only three contenders that I know they have. So what else is there to do after that?
right. And I don't think you're alone on that sentiment.
No.
And,
Daddy has to come here.
let's
Here?
finish. Let's finish the show off with we are wrestling with NWA Powerrr into the fire.
Into the fire. I just love. I don't know. I just love it. It's goddamn far. It's an hour long. It's on YouTube, which is basically who doesn't have YouTube. That's the only thing I really like about
China.
it. They
China does not have YouTube.
Who?
China, the country.
Oh well, I feel bad. Feel bad for China, but everybody else got YouTube. So
And
you,
since Into the Fire, lots of going on. Obviously, Morty is uh, hopping around and hovering around. Um, Nick Aldis made a new faction called Simply Business, which I think is kind of the worst name ever.
I mean, doing that in the inner circle.
Inner Circle sounds a lot cooler than Strictly Business.
It does. But inner circle sounds more like a cult following. It's,
And Strictly Business kind of sounds like a prostitution ring.
it sounds like the movie that was in the '90s with the Wayans.
That was Risky Business.
No, it was strictly. There was a comedy. Strictly, was it Risky?
The one where Tom Cruise?
Oh no, not that one. But there was another one. It's a black movie. It's called Strictly Business.
Okay.
See, got you.
One of the main things that's coming out of these shows is the Pope D'Angelo De Niro's back. And the guy don't look like he's aged at all.
I need to get with him, R-Truth, and Pharrell to figure out what are they doing that they're not aging, bro. like all of the like Pharrell's been bumping since '95. R-Truth, like they did a 10-year challenge with R-Truth. Dude looks the same. Like what the hell, bro?
Yeah, he's pretty rough, still rough.
Yeah, still ripped. It to me, it almost like he got younger.
Oh, you know what it might be? You know, he's best friends with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon has a strong workout regimen, so he might be working out with Vince McMahon.
Either that, or oh, I get it. You know, he's friends with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's Illuminati. That gotcha. I gotcha, fam.
It was not where I was going, but okay.
Hey, hey man, never know. I got you. Wink, wink.
It's only one wink with the eye of the Illuminati.
Oh, that's right.
Eli Drake, yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for Yeah to be the new what for like 2 years now, and it seems like it's only now catching on.
Well, I mean, pull it out at the right time, and now it's the right time. And it's something where it differentiates it from himself because NWA is like they don't really run on catchphrases. So to get one, it kind of separates you from the pack a little bit. So yeah, why not?
And one thing I wanted to talk about was your girl Allison Kay. Do you think that she's performing to the quality she should be?
Yes and no. And I would say yes because she doing what she has to do in the ring. No, because she said herself she could do better. So that's where I say yes and no.
I mean, it seems like before coming to NWA, she had a really good character with the pinkies up, and she was a badass that more on the heel side. And now she's just a generic white meat baby face that is in a generic "oh my best friend turned on me, woe is me" kind of storyline.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of felt like if that was the reverse, where Allison did the betrayal to save her title, that would have got more traction. Um, I feel like Allison is a better heel than a face, personally. Um, just based on watching her matches throughout the year. Yeah, she's been working heel all year, and then she comes here and she's kind of having to work like as a tweener, then up to a face. And to me, that it doesn't feel. I don't think it's comfortable for her. But we'll see where it goes. I feel like she could do better. She says she could do better, and we just expect her to do better.
Well, obviously she will. It seems like there isn't a big women's champion outside of WWE. Obviously Becky is the face of the company. Nobody's gonna really touch that. Uh, but there's nobody to say like, oh, the dream match is Becky versus. Nobody is saying it's Rio. Unfortunately, nobody's saying it's Allysin Kay. There was some talk of maybe Tessa, but she's going for the men's championship, so that's kind of a mute point at this time.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that the women's division in WWE period is overwhelmingly stacked.
Right.
Probably more. It's the most stacked women's division in wrestling period. Um, there's a lot of people that I want to see. Becky Becky's the cream of the crop right now. Um, but Becky's always been that way because there's been a cult like following with Becky. Because she was the cute girl that never got a shot because her dad ain't Ric Flair like Charlotte or whatever. So I mean, so to me in WWE, there's a lot of dream matches that could go. It's just a matter of how they position them. And this is just with people that they use. There's people that they put on the shelf, like a Naomi who's a former champion and is a hell of an athlete. It could go with any of these girls that they could bring back. So it's a lot of them.
Right. And the last thing on the covering NWA, Tim Storm uh did not Tim Storm continues not to call his mother after his matches. And the funny thing about his promo last week was, saying that his mother didn't retire at until she was 76. I mean,
Right.
really, man? You didn't make enough money to make your mom retire?
Oh no. It's probably one of those things where he makes enough money and she's probably like, I'm still going to work because some people like working keeps them alive in a sense.
Right.
Waking up with a purpose to do something because think about it, we spend all our time in work, and when people retire, they die. Like true story, I had a coworker. He worked every day, and he was like 80 some years old. He was just going to work every day. Right when he retired, he died 6 months later, and it's
Wow.
because that job was giving them something to look forward to doing. A lot of people are so enthralled into work that they don't take the time to do things that will fulfill them otherwise as a person. And
So
I
you
would say for 2020, everybody should do something to make them fulfill themselves as a person because work is going to come and go. But you are only here one time, bro.
so you're saying that Tim Storm was not giving his mother money?
Oh, he probably is, but he also wants her alive. So let her keep working so that girl can live, man.
I mean,
Oh,
she's 95, Coleco.
hell, hey, if she's 95 and can make it to work, yo, more power to her.
You know, just Tim, call your mama.
That is true. Unless your mom is like mine, and then we could get the, we could, you know, every couple of weeks is fine.
After the show, I'll be talking to my mom. And that will conclude this show. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment on both YouTube and Castbox. You can continue the conversation on Twitter. You can follow me at JamesJ99Dream. Give me your opinion on the show. Give me opinion on your opinion of the topics we covered. Where can they find Coleco?
I am Coleco, and finally, I ain't got no school, which means I can finally get petty and become Petty Pendergrass or Petty Roosevelt, and finally get ready for the Royal Rumble. I got to get started on my WrestleMania trip. I am heading to Tampa, so maybe I'll do some journeys and tips and tricks that you should do as far as like balling on a budget at WrestleMania.
Hey, that's cool. And if you want to find Scooter Dust, who could not join us tonight, you could find him at Scooter Dust. And Mitch Mayhem, who is on another Rapungi Bender, you can find him at Mitch Mayhem X. And for those two guys in Coleco Yachts, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Call your mama.
Daddy,